Hey, Tom,
Oh, yeah.
uh, what's this paper you had me sign? Says you're
Oh,
my dad. What is this?
yeah, no. It's just like legal. It's for GPS. It's just legal stuff. Yeah, just sign that and then just send that back to me. Yeah, just first class if you don't mind to.
You said this was for Underdog, but I don't see. It says
hmm
conservatorship. What is that?
It's so yeah, just like that. You're gonna be conservative with with your um picks. Like you're gonna be safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh baby, we here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another. There, that's better. I was going to say, but that's better. That's better.
Yeah,
Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is GP.
Yeah, look at that. Short ass. Love it.
I got some complaints that for headphone users, the S absolutely murders their ears. So I was like, I'm going to spare them.
For us headphoners, that is not fun.
Yeah, we're headphone. Oh, sorry. So yeah, sorry, I'm on my phone. First of all, it's GPS on a Tuesday, which
Yeah, we're all messed up.
which by the way, can we legit? There's so much NFL news to talk about because of course it happened as soon as I left and didn't have access to technology. But we do need to talk about Tuesday being the stupidest day of the week. It is. I have felt this way for a long time, Brandon, a very long time. Tuesday, in my opinion, is the worst day of the week because Monday, everyone's like, oh, it's Monday. It's the beginning of the week, work week, whatever. But like, it already has that anticipation. Like sometimes there's good, like Monday Night Football on, like there's some good, ain't nothing good on a Tuesday, right? Like Justified went off the air and then it was gone forever. I'm just saying Tuesdays is so useless. It's not halfway through the week. It's not Monday. Like we're like, oh, it's Tuesday's just the worst. So we're trying to make the day better. Yeah, I'm not in my basement. I am across the street from Lambeau Field. Oh. It's not that way, but yes, I'm in an empty house in the Packers bungalow. We can do it in a bathroom.
Look at that.
That's it. It's fun. We'll put it here. There we go.
There you go. Look at that. Hey, it's locked down.
It's good framing, right? Man, you could just fit a whole olive up here.
Look at that. You do have big nostrils.
Oh, dude, it's a cavern. It really is. Like spelunking. Do you hear about like that soccer team that got stuck in here one time?
In the bathroom?
No, my nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that story. But hey, if we put it out there, it will get picked up.
It's true. Listen, I know, I haven't watched the new Justified revival yet. I have it DVR'd because I'm an old man. But we have a lot to talk about because there is a lot of NFL news that broke yesterday.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah. So for everybody who doesn't know, Tom is in Green Bay at Packers training camp this week. He was supposed to fly out Monday or Sunday. So we weren't planning on doing the show Monday. Or we were going to do it Monday morning from Green Bay, but then we didn't get out there till Monday. So now we're doing GPS on Tuesday. We're usually here Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I know.
So Tom's covering the Packers, doing his thing down at training camp. And as soon as he gets on the airplane, Dalvin Cook signs, Ezekiel Elliott signs, all the preseason stuff sort of happens. Zach Martin signs. That's about it. Those are the big ones. Big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones. I mean, Anthony Richardson just got named starter for the Colts
That happened
this morning.
Yeah,
That happened this morning. But yeah, no, what's frustrating is like the Packers. I want to talk about preseason with you. I want to talk about Trey Lance because Trey Lance that's been like the talk of the town. But before we get into anything, before we jump into the signings and all that great stuff, Brandon Perna recently put out a preseason video, and I haven't had an opportunity to talk to you since Friday, where both of our teams played in the preseason.
Feels like an eternity ago.
It does. It feels like a very long time. So, I mean, how do you feel about the Denver Broncos? And also, I'm so sorry you lost to the Cardinals. I know the wins and losses in preseason doesn't matter, but
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kabir.
I've had time to process it. I was not thrilled by the Broncos' performance in the preseason game. Russell Wilson, like normal, took too much flack for some problems that were out of his control. Offensive line was not good in pass protection. Like the Cardinals, they better have the best pass rush on earth. Okay,
they don't. They don't
have the best pass rush. So the offensive line is the biggest concern. Obviously, we had some kicking issues.
Yeah.
Will and I have decided we're just going to blame the kicking problems on the field. No way anybody could kick footballs on that field. I think Matt Prater missed a kick in that game too. That actually made me feel a little bit better. But this weekend, the starters are going to play even longer. They played until midway through the second quarter. And boy, the Broncos starters against the Cardinals' third string defense, no chance. No chance the worst team in the league with their third string players is better than the Broncos. So suck it, NFL.
Yeah. It's interesting because one, this is where I finally reveal. So did the Broncos have any problems with like footing on the field and all that great stuff? They had some issues. Right?
Yeah,
because like the field was like messed up and stuff.
It was still slippery from the Super Bowl.
So here's the thing, Brandon. I just really want you to do well in life. I want you to do well with the channel and everything like that.
Thank you, Tom.
And so the best way that I know that I can help you is if the Denver Broncos continue to be bad.
No.
Right?
No.
So when I was in Arizona, I did have an opportunity to actually go on the grass field. So you're welcome.
You cover it in your slippery juice?
That's a phrase I wish never entered my ears.
And I dialed it back.
You did. You did. We softened you up here. we definitely have done that.
I've heard the complaints. No more jizz talk, Perna. Okay, fine.
So you worried with slippery juice. I miss doing this show. But I saw the Broncos. Like, it was just.
Look, in all reality, let's give them a little time. They're learning new thing with Sean Payton. Was it promising? No, but it's a quarter and a half of football. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. We actually got preseason football, and I feel like the hype for this preseason, and maybe this is just like me as a Packers fan and you as a Broncos fan, because like we actually have a reason to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're like, oh crap, does like our starting offense look good? So because Jordan Love only played 2 series. Like he only played for like a little bit of the game. It wasn't very long. Threw a touchdown, which was freaking awesome. Had some inconsistencies. Like he missed Luke Musgrave over the middle.
Yeah, it was like one of his early throws. He missed him wide, but like.
But if you watch Dan Orlovsky, he actually like broke it down like on Twitter, in which he said that he was looking off. I think it was like the middle linebacker. He was looking him off with his eyes. And like, as he goes to throw, the middle linebacker jumped the other way because Love is literally like looking that way. So he was trying to like, just do it like really, really quick. So yeah, like Orlovsky was like, is he doing too much with his eyes? So yeah, it's like, again, these are things like he's going to have to learn, and he doesn't have a lot of experience, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, but I would say, like, if you're a Packers fan, there was more positive from his debut than negative. You know, it was like that throw was like the big glaring thing. And then he throws a nice little touchdown. Romeo Dubs comes down with a nice
Romeo Dobbs,
back
baby.
there.
Oh my God. He's going to be a monster this year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It feels like Jordan Love is in a much better spot right now, obviously, than Trey Lance, which we'll get to. But both are in the boat of, like, they just haven't had a ton of reps. So that's kind of the thing there. But anything circulating at Packerville?
So
Lambeau?
I got in yesterday. Well, Roger Goodell was here yesterday.
Oh,
So
did he fine you?
no.
Find that man. If I were Goodell, I
He-
would just point at people and be like, "Fined,
Done. Just why not? Just like little old lady crossing the street. Fine. Yeah. So I got in late yesterday. I was supposed to be in Sunday night because I was supposed to go to the Roger Goodell thing and camp. They actually canceled. Well, they moved camp inside because so the public isn't allowed because of weather. So right now, I mean, like the big standouts from Packers camp, like they're talking about Jaden Reed a ton, who's the wide receiver that one of the wide receivers that we drafted this year. Luke Musgrave, one of the tight ends that we drafted this year, like he's making a lot of like heads turn. And it seems like, well, he's already, I know the unofficial depth chart doesn't mean anything right now, but like he is like tight end 1. So it just seems like they're utilizing him a lot and like actually trying to like scheme up plays for him. And like, this is something, too. Tight end is usually like really difficult to transition from college into the pros, like because you have to learn about like pass protection and you also have to learn route trees. Like you have to learn all this stuff. Right. And so it's like, oh, all right. Let's wait because it's probably not going to work. Even with like Kyle Pitts, right? Like Kyle Pitts, Noah Fant, even TJ Hawkinson, like when they like those first years, they didn't do a ton. So it's just really interesting because we haven't had a tight end threat. Like we've had Robert Tonyan. He had that one really good year where he had double-digit touchdowns, but we haven't had like a real threat since, Jared Cook for like a hot minute. He did well at the end of the season, of course, had that Cowboys catch. But like Jermichael Finley is the last time we had a legitimate threat. So we gonna see.
Yeah, it usually takes a while. Like Rob Gronkowski, he had 10 touchdowns as a rookie tight end, which is just insane. But that was on just 42 receptions though. So like he was like this crazy red zone threat. It takes a bit for tight ends to just gel. Unless they have a really, really good quarterback, and that would be the biggest like X factor when you're talking about like what's Musgrave's production going to be this year.
Yeah.
I think I just picked him in like one of the very, very late picks. Maybe
I've been picking him a few times. Yeah. Because why not?
Tight end, just throw him in there. Oh, speaking of Underdog Fantasy, Tom Grossi, our code GPS, use it or lose it when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy. And I did something a little bit different for the drafts today, okay? There is our standard 12-person draft linked below, but instead of doing 2 12-persons, I did a 12-person and then 2 6-person drafts. So there's only 6 people you're drafting against, which means your team is going to be super stacked, which means you're going to score a S-ton of points. So I just wanted to shake it up a little bit. Couple 6-person leagues down there.
Wait, hold on. I can't access this off my phone. Oh, I can access things like that.
Hey, what?
Hold on. I'll find the disclaimer.
There it is.
There it is.
Boom.
Nailed it.
So right now, Underdog Fantasy, you can play in fantasy leagues against me and Tom, or you can join their big tournaments. Best Ball Mania, 15 million in total prizes. Weekly winners, they tally your best score every week, and you have a chance to win up to $20,000. Those are best ball formats, so you're drafting your teams now. Once you draft it, you're done managing it. You don't do anything. They just use your best score. During the season, we will do weekly fantasy drafts for the weekly slate of games. Ooh, Tom's got to get in that shower and cool himself off because he's been so hot in the pick'em games. The pick'ems, Tom's won twice. He's won $750 twice in pick.
Yeah, I did. I picked 4 random players on Saturday. So hold on. Let me explain my underdog story really, really quick, right? Because usually I have no idea what I'm doing on a daily basis. So with Underdog, I literally did it once on that Thursday, and I was like, oh, like let me pick like these 3rd string backups. Like they're not gonna get anything. And I bet $75. It was 750, and I was like, wow, maybe I'm just like really, really good at it. So then I tried it a bunch on like Friday and lost every single one. And I was like, nope, I'm just dumb and like need to be a responsible person and not be dumb. And then I was like, all right, I'll just try it once on Saturday, and I won again. So I was like, okay. Well, you know what that taught me? What should be you bet with your head, not over it.
Ooh, love it.
It's true.
And in Colorado, we just got the pick'em games, so we'll be doing.
Yeah, how'd you do, Brandon?
I went 2 for 2 in my four-man pick'em. And luckily, I whiffed on Marquez Callaway. I should have went with Lil Jordan Humphrey. I went with Callaway, and I already lost. But had I been in contention, I would have lost on the last play of the game when the Cardinals rushed in for the 2-point conversion. I can't even remember the running back's name, but I picked the under on him, and that boosted him over. I was like, oh, thank God I wasn't in play to win there. So anyway, Underdog, links to sign up are below. Code GPS, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. We're rocking with them all season long. So if you want to rock with us, rocking with them, we can all rock. Is this just like an Airbnb?
Yeah, so this is
some random person's house and they're not in town.
Now it's other shower. Toast time. Oh. Yeah, no, it's an Airbnb. It's the Packers bungalow. It's literally like brand new. And shout out to Cheesehead TV hooking me up for today. They were like, hey, like, let me know. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'm not staying here tonight. I stayed here last night. But tonight, like a bunch of people are getting in. Johnny Barks is coming. So
I know.
Oh, because is that why you're like, Johnny doesn't get a vacation? Because now I don't have an editor for the week.
Dude,
the kitchen's downstairs.
We need Johnny Barks 2.0 too. I love Johnny. Look at that nice kitchen.
It's a nice kitchen. And you know what? Shout out.
Show us the fridge. Show us the fridge.
Some of this stuff is not mine. So there was croissants that were in there. There was Carry the G, which is the Cheesehead TV beer. Just delicious. And shout out because when I am here, Tyler went to go pick up people. So the problem is that usually when you go to Airbnbs, there's a water issue. So you're like, hi, they're drinking like right out of the tap, right? You know, it's a little warmer or whatever. This came with a Brita. So you know what? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's a big
Airbnb. We've got a Brita for you.
That's
Brita, you
honestly
want to sponsor this show too? Both Tom and I love some Brita.
It's true. It's true.
I want to talk about Zeke and Dalvin. And Dalvin and Zeke. We have been waiting for these motherfuckers to sign somewhere, and they finally did. Praise be. Kareem Hunt. Nobody wants him right now. Lenny Fournette. Nobody's even talking about.
No one.
Ezekiel Elliott. He goes to the Patriots. Dalvin Cook goes to the Jets. They both picked the AFC East. Interesting. We knew the Jets were interested in Dalvin Cook. Immediate thoughts, Tom, like who do you think's going to be more impactful where they're going?
So Zeke to the Patriots makes a lot of sense, right? And I know everyone who like drafted Stevenson is now upset because it's like exactly. It's like I one thing. Because like we talked about this, right? It's like, isn't it weird that the Patriots like have a like just like one running back? Like that's kind of weird. Hell yeah. Kind of weird. But
wow.
They go, I figured like because Zeke is also like he's trimmed down, like he's lost a bunch of weight and stuff like that. Like I think he's likely going to get a lot of like goal line touches. Like he's good, like he could be a good like pass protection like blocker. I think like he'll be utilized like in a committee type of way. Like he'll just be maybe like the third down back and things like that, so they can get a little bit off of Stevenson. But Dalvin Cook, I think, is going to have the best opportunity in the beginning of the year, because like Breece Hall like just got activated off the PUP list, so he's going to be in practice today, which is really great. It's like they're not going to want to rush him in though. So I think Dalvin Cook is going to have more of like a lane, like maybe those first like 4 weeks, he'll have an opportunity to be like, hey, like I'm still a running back one. And then, you know, with Breece Hall likely taking over, it's probably not going to be like too crazy for him. But yeah, Zeke, I think, is going to have like a lot of goal line touches.
Yeah. If I know anything about old Billy Belichick, there will be one game this season where Zeke gets like 35 carries.
Correct. Yeah.
You'll be like, what the hell? Zeke, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then we won't see him for 4 weeks.
Yeah. He'll fumble once, and then like it's like benched for like the rest of the year.
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw somebody who knows more about football saying like Ramondre Stevenson isn't as good of a short yardage back as you would expect with his size. And that's something Zeke has always been like pretty good at. So, you know, like both of these signings make sense for both teams. They both add like nice RB2 depth pieces.
Yes.
And I think like the upside with Dalvin Cook is last year he was good enough, right? He had such, I forget what season, but he had such a great season that his expectations are like way up here, but he's just like a solid running back, even when he's still performing better than most in the league. So like over the course of the season, he can continue to have impact for the Jets in a bigger way than Zeke. And
it's your turn in fantasy, by the way, buddy.
What's that?
All the call comments, I see them. It's your turn. You have to go.
Oh, I got first pick again?
You got the... Cool.
Oh, my goodness. I love that Underdog rigged this for me. Wait, what?
Anyway, continue.
Who do I pick with my number 1 pick?
You're just going to pick Justin Jefferson. We know you're going to pick Justin.
I know. Okay. Jefferson, gone. I got the number 4 pick here. I've been taking Jamar Chase, but I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. And I got the first pick in the other. Both 6-person leagues. I got the first pick. Wow, wee. You know what? I'm going to go McCaffrey in this one. So, all right. Anyway.
Yeah, so like, I think the O-line of the Jets is not as bad as people say, but I think it's an area of concern.
Yeah, they're going to get an upgrade just by having Aaron Rodgers. Like when you get a quarterback who's a vet, gets rid of the ball quickly, your offensive line instantly like jumps like 7 spots in terms of pass protection because good QBs make up for that.
Yes.
And they were running the ball fairly well, even when like Zach Wilson was completing 6 passes on like 9 attempts in games. And I think what's the big question mark is Mekhi Becton, right? Like he trimmed down. Can he stay healthy? Can he be the left tackle like they hoped that he would be? So both teams, I think this is a good signing. Both backs come on steals, right? Like $8.6 million for Cook, $6 million for Zeke.
Yeah.
And I think like Zeke had to sign for Cook to finally do it, where it's like, oh, we know Zeke's only getting 6, so we'll give you 8. And Cook's like, okay, I feel lucky to take this. But the caveat's like he's not even practicing yet because his shoulder's still recovering.
Yeah.
So it is a little weird. You sign the guy who's not fully healthy to come in and be the guy for your other running back who's not fully healthy yet, right?
I think, yeah, I think so. But again, if they're just going to be using him like sparingly, I don't think it's going to get too crazy. But I think at the end of the day, like you mentioned, both of them signing in the AFC East, this makes the Patriots, like it gives them another weapon. Like we're talking goal line usage, all that great stuff. The Jets, like, I think can give them a legit weapon, like in Dalvin Cook. Because I think Dalvin Cook is still good. I know within the division, I know he wasn't as good last year, but I think like he's a great guy to have there for that first month of the season to be like, hey, if we were just going to ease Breece Hall in and we kind of like want to save him for what is hopefully our playoff run, then that's what Dalvin Cook's role is going to be. And you can, kind of do I don't want to say split carries, but like you said, you can kind of give Breece Hall a runway. But it's more impactful, I think, for the Jets in their playoff aspirations.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting. I mean, they'll get head-to-head games, these teams, twice. So that'll be kind of interesting. We'll probably forget about it by then, but whatever.
Most likely.
The Cowboys did sign Zach Martin finally.
Yep.
2-year deal, $18 million a year. Cowboys fans can take a breath. Big part of their line.
Yeah. I do want to talk about this because Richardson was just named the starter this morning. So it was funny because CJ Stroud was the first like rookie QB that we saw, and it was not a great time for him. The O-line, like they were missing, I think like 2 starters on the offensive line. Like he was under a lot of pressure, threw a really bad interception, kind of just was getting frazzled back there. And it was like, okay, this is welcome to the NFL, right? Then you start to see other rookies also come in, like Anthony Richardson comes in, and you see those flashes, right? You see oh man, like, first of all, the guy is just like the build, right? The guy is a monster. And I think because I was reading like some scout reports from about Anthony Richardson that came out today on Twitter, and it was basically talking about like there was like Josh Allen comps and all that great stuff, like evaluating him before they got to the draft. And they were just like, his accuracy is kind of like, okay, he didn't play too many games, like he didn't start a lot, but the athleticism is so unique that it's worth taking a shot on him. And so I think that the thing with Richardson and what a lot of people have said is the stuff that that's glaring or is an issue that can be fixed. Like that's like just really good coaching. It's going to take time. It's going to take experience. Now, is there a worry that him being thrown into the fire is going to be like, is that going to like hurt confidence? Is that going to hurt like mechanics and stuff? God forbid he gets injured. I don't know. It is a little risky, but I think like the Colts just need that kind of injection of like, hey, we need to like give our fan base something. And also like, this is our best opportunity to probably win.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him getting thrown into the mix right away. And I'm basing that solely off of how deep his voice is. Have you ever listened to him? He has got such a confident, deep voice. It's like nothing is going to rattle that man. Nothing. It is that if I had that voice, I would own YouTube. I'd be the president of YouTube if I had Anthony Richardson's deep voice. Second of all, he made an incredible throw in that preseason game that would have been a touchdown, but Alec Pierce couldn't hold it in. Couldn't haul it in.
Like, really good throw.
Freaking dime. And he looks a lot like Cam Newton out there in terms of like his size and power. Like young Cam Newton. And people forget Cam Newton as a rookie threw for like 4,000 yards that season. Set the rookie like yards record. And I think there's like a chance like Richardson can surprise people with his arm this year. And I think it's just the good fit with him and Shane Steichen. And I tweeted today, like the surprising thing about Richardson looking like the best of the first round quarterbacks in the first limited action is the Colts seem like a mess right now.
Yeah.
Like, they seem like they have the most, and that's crazy to say when you're talking about like the Texans in the mix there, but they like distractions, owner being weird, all this other extra stuff. They seem like a mess, but he came out and, he looked pretty good. So we'll see how they look once they get a little more time. And Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, they've threw CJ 6 passes, Bryce Young 4 passes. So we didn't get a lot. And, week 2, usually when guys play longer, everything's a little weird. It used to be week 3, but then we went from 4 games to 3 games. So this is the week I think like you can really get a better feel of where some of these QBs are. But I'm still the most excited to watch Richardson, honestly.
Because he's he's like that Josh Allen type of build, like QB, just like he is a monster athlete. And if they can turn him into like also a good pocket passer too, like it's going to get crazy. Yeah, that was so heartbreaking. It was a motorcycle accident. It's so heartbreaking.
It was, Alex, like it's always when you hear that like an athlete passes away, you're just waiting to see why. And there's always this like wait of like what happened. And Alex Collins, it was a motorcycle accident that happened, I believe, in Florida. Still young, like really tragic. Saw Russell Wilson like tweet about it, and a lot of people tweeting just like what a good dude he was. So incredibly sad and unfortunate.
So I saw that news. Like the other like big news that came out, and it's not heartbreaking in the level of like Alex Collins, but it's like a what the actual F, like the Blindside story.
Yeah,
dude, like that's woof. Because The Blind Side, I have found like that's one of those like feel good football movies. Like it's not a go-to movie of mine. Like I literally have seen it once and I was like, yeah, it was a good movie. Like, but some people are like, this is my childhood. Like this is the thing. I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But damn. So in case you do not know, so Michael Orr, who's like the person who's like that entire movie is about, right? First of all, like, back in like 2015, he came. I think he had an interview. I think it was like with ESPN or something. He had an interview in which he didn't like his portrayal in the movie because like he was portrayed as like being slow or like having mental problems or just like not being smart. And he said that actually impacted his status in the NFL because the way that like people talked to him was like in assuming that he wasn't intelligent. And he's like, that wasn't great. But that kind of got like swept under a little bit and not really talked about a ton because it was like, oh, it's such a good feel good movie, right? Sandra Bullock. So apparently in real life, the parents who quote unquote adopted him never really adopted him, but instead, according to him, tricked him into signing this
ship.
Yeah, it's like back to Britney Spears, right? So like that basically gives that family control over like Michael Orr's like name for like business deals and like brandings. They can make business deals on behalf, right, of like him. And so like with the movie, like the royalties and all that great stuff, they have made millions of dollars. And according to Michael Orr, he's made zero. He's made zero. And he found out this year that they actually didn't adopt him.
Yeah, and that's being disputed by the family, and they're saying they didn't make much money off of the movie, that they made some from the book, and that everybody got paid the same. So there's like obviously there's conflicting sides to it. But like if what he's saying is true, then it's messed up. It's it's exploitation. I mean, I'm trying to dive into it for today's episode, and like reading into it, I think we got to take back Sandra Bullock's Oscar.
Poor Sandra Bullock. Like she just, that's the thing too. Like also that book being written, like you got to also like look at the author and be like,
there's a lot of moving parts there.
Because she also was doing like motivational speaking, and like after that movie like got a huge boost because it was like, look how great this family is, look how kind and generous they are, and
exploitative. Thank you. Yeah, it's a weird story, and I believe his like the guy who would be his brother, his in the family, I forget his name, SJ or some shit. He was on one of the Barstool podcasts talking about it. He was saying that Michael Orr knew that he was in a conservatorship in that they have like group family text exchanges that would say that he knew earlier than that. Obviously, like some of that information might come out as this, like, because he filed the lawsuit against him, wanting, money. So we'll see. The other family that Michael Orr, because it's not just the Tuohys. Is that how you say their name? The Tuohys? The Tuohys?
I don't know the exact pronunciation.
Tuohy. How do you say that? But he's claiming he made them a bunch of money and he didn't get his proper dues. But he also did that for the Flacco family when you think about it. Like he made Joe Flacco $120 million. So
that is accurate.
I think Flacco owes him some money as well. Joe Flacco. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, it's wild. So there's a lawsuit going on. So we'll see kind of how that emerges, but not a great look.
He's not poor. He did make money in the NFL, which is good. So
it's true. It's accurate. Yeah, people are just. I'm in Green Bay, so that's why I'm sitting on this couch here. It's a couch. Okay, I want to talk about Trey Lance because if you recall, this happened. It was like months ago. It was this year. You and I had a conversation on GPS about how come the 49ers don't get as much crap about picking Trey Lance. And so like they gave up a ton to go get him.
Right. And
it kind of is like, all right, like whatever. Well, Trey Lance is back in the news again because Trey Lance played against the Raiders. He threw a touchdown pass, which was one of the most insane, just like coincidental, like camera angles did not show it. I thought it got caught in the back. I thought it got intercepted. He basically threw it right to the secondary and it bounced off of him. He couldn't make the catch and it was caught by another receiver. It might have been a tight end. And it was a touchdown.
Dwelly.
So, so he did that. But basically people were like, Trey Lance did not look great. Didn't look good. And which, by the way, before we dive into Trey Lance, because I haven't talked to you about this. Good God, talking about crazy touchdowns, dude. The Jaguars. I want to stop for a hot second because I really want to get into the Trey Lance thing, dude. That throw, like that was one of the craziest plays I've ever. I don't care if it's preseason. That was one of the craziest plays I have seen in a very, very long time.
It was so crazy. Like my first thought was like, how did Trevor Lawrence do that? My second thought was like, it's the fourth quarter. Why is Trevor Lawrence playing?
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not Trevor Lawrence. That's their third string quarterback, Rourke. Who the frick is Rourke? But yeah, it was.
It just like even the Dak Prescott thing of him standing on the sideline, just like holding his knees of just like, damn.
Rourke, baby. It like preseason, all the games should be played on the same game or same day, and we should have NFL red zone for preseason. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree. All right, sorry. Get back to Trey Lance. So Trey Lance didn't look that great. Brock Purdy seems to be closer and closer to like being ready to go. And it seems like from the outside, and we don't know what it's like in the 49ers organization, but it would seem like, I don't want to say Trey Lance is done in San Francisco. It's just there's nothing good coming out about Trey Lance. It's not like, well, he's like looking really good here, or here are the plans for him. Like it seems like they're legitimately waiting for Brock Purdy to get healthy. And it's like, it's like Brock Purdy's our guy. Like we're rocking with him. Yeah. And you make a really, like you talked about this really good point. And like, I just want to talk about, first of all, the 49ers not only making that trade where they gave up a huge chunk of like their futures, like their future first round picks, right? 1, 2, in that draft, the players that were drafted after Trey Lance is insane. Like the amount of like really, really good players that we've seen is really good. And 3, like this just not working out. And it just so happens that Mr. Irrelevant, their last pick in the draft, is now their starting QB. So my question to you, Brandon, is like, are we going to see Trey Lance be the starter for the 49ers? Like barring any injury, like to like Brock Purdy or anything. But I don't know, man. Like, do you think he just gets traded? Like, and who wants him? Like, just like a team just take like a flyer, like 3rd round, 4th round pick?
Yeah, I mean, like, depending on what happens with McCorkle Jones in New England, maybe like the Patriots would be a team that's like, hey, there's a lot of potential there that we can tap into. And like Trey Lance didn't play like that bad either. It's just like it's getting highlighted that he threw an interception that turned into a touchdown for his team. Whoa,
what's happening?
Well,
what happened?
But like it looks worse too, because like Sam Darnold comes onto the field and just throws a freaking like 40-yard dime out of his own end zone. It's just like a perfect throw. So it has not worked out, obviously. It doesn't matter for the 49ers if they found their guy in Brock Purdy. But like Sam Monson from Pro Football Focus pointed out something that I think is like we know. It's just we know this, but like we forget it and we just go into critiquing, right? But like Trey Lance has not played. He's played hardly any NFL football. He pointed out he from high school, 99 passing attempts in high school, 318 in college, 72 in NFL preseason, 102 in NFL regular season, total attempts. Those are his only game passing attempts, his entire football career, saying basically he has fewer pass attempts than Geno Smith had just last season. So the only way you can really evaluate Trey Lance is if he has like a sample size to actually evaluate. Now, San Francisco hasn't given him the opportunity to get all those reps because, well, it's injury has hindered him. That's been the big thing, injury more than anything. But like Brock Purdy came in, got that job, didn't relinquish it last year. And I think Brock Purdy showing Kyle Shanahan he's more ready for the role, can have a quicker and better grasp of his offense and do it in a commanding way, the way you want to see your quarterback do it. That's been the other thing. And of course, like Jimmy Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, like a week ago, was like, he's the best quarterback the 49ers have had over the last 20 years since Steve Young. He's just never come out and had anything super, super like positive to say about Trey Lance, which, makes you think that if there's a buyer at some point, he could move. And I don't know if does like that mystery around Trey Lance eventually benefit the 49ers, or do you need him to go out and just like light it up in a preseason game for the 49ers to actually be able to deal him if that's what they want to do?
I mean, I think the mystery works for a time, but I think let's just say like Brock Purdy's like ready to go, right? Brock Purdy's good. He goes out there and let's just say like he's average. Like just say he's like very, very average. If they don't rock with Lance and Lance is healthy, I think that is like a bigger indicator that it's like, oh no, like if they just don't utilize him,
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, it's like, where does he fall on the depth chart? Like when the season starts, is he going to be if he's the number 3 quarterback? Like, do they put him at the number 2 quarterback just so optically it looks good for opposing teams who might be like, okay, we'll take a flyer on him. But that draft, like they trade up to get him. After they pick Trey Lance, Kyle Pitts goes, Jamar Chase goes, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, and Rashawn Slater. And, of course, Justin Fields. 49ers probably would do that draft differently. And it's not even 100% like just a knock on Trey Lance. It's just a situation wasn't right for him. I don't think it's right for the 49ers. I think it'll be best if they all move on. Maybe Trey Lance is one of those guys who later in his career gets Geno Smith reference there. Maybe he gets a later shot like Geno.
Hold on, though. One thing that you said. You said not right for the 49ers.
Yeah.
I feel like if there is any place for an average QB to go, it is the San Francisco 49ers because they have so many skill players. They run the ball a lot. Their defense is always really good. Their coaching is really good. So, like, I don't want to say if you can't make it there, you're not, it's going to be a tough time making it anywhere. I just think, like, it baffles me because, like, he must really not be good because they, like I said, they gave up a ton to go get him, and like a lot, and they missed out on a lot of draft capital. And for them to kind of just be, I don't want to say nonchalant about him, I think it's just more indicative of like if he's like really not good, and he might just be really inexperienced, like you're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I think
He
that's
just
the big
doesn't
thing.
have the reps at all, you know. So you just don't know. So
Yeah,
yes,
he needs to play. And they took a chance on a guy who barely played at Dakota, North or South. I don't even fucking know because it's one of the Dakotas. That's where Carson Wentz came out of. My take, don't draft any quarterbacks that play in a Dakota. Suck it, Dakotas. Both North and South. Don't have to worry about offending them because they don't have any pro football teams either. I am anti-Dakota, except for Dakota Fanning. Great actress.
I missed you, Perna. Only you. Only you. But yeah,
That's just probably arrogance by the 49ers. We can take this guy that's super raw and turn him into
mold
our
him.
dude at pick 3 in a weird 2020 draft, right? Like that was also just a weird draft because of everything. Anyway.
Well, 2021, yeah. I mean,
was it 2021?
21, yeah.
But from the 2020 like season, that was all weird.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's a very weird scenario, and I don't know where Trey Lance goes, where he has a better opportunity. Like you talked about the Patriots, like that one I can see, right? Like maybe he could do there, but I don't know what team is gonna try and get
Miami
him.
Dolphins if Tuis doesn't stay healthy.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Mike McDaniel going right back to the well, baby.
And the Dolphins rip him off again.
Yes.
They not only do they get all those picks, but they get Trey Lance at the end also.
They're like, somehow Trey Lance and George Kittle are now Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I don't know where he goes. Like I really, really don't. But I think like Sam Darnold, because if he does wind up starting, like let's say like Sam Darnold starts because they're worried about like injuries or like Trey Lance is just not there. I think Sam Darnold's gonna look okay in like that system.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what's funny about Sam Darnold. Like he didn't go to a good place either.
No.
Was he the third? Was he drafted at 3? Like
2 or 3? Yeah.
Spot 3 goes to the Jets. That's not the right situation for anybody at the time.
No, Perna. No,
Carolina, not great either.
No. I will not let you do it again.
What?
Because I got into that thinking. I was like, you know what? Maybe Sam Darnold's actually like really good. And he just like did with bad, because I did a whole thing of like bad offensive line or whatever. And like, listen, the Panthers did not have a good offensive line either. Like he had that one game, wasn't it against Denver, where he like lit them up?
No, he never lit us up. But when he was with the Jets, he had like a 50-yard touchdown run, just inexplicably untackleable. And the Panthers last year, when the Broncos and Panthers played, Sam Darnold fumbled the football at the goal line and recovered the ball and rolled into the end. So he fumbles and still scores a touchdown. He's the fumble. He's done that multiple times in his career. Old Sam Darnold.
Justin, that's a great question. But like, even if you just go and like, not to play like revisionist history, but the names that Perna just said, could you imagine the San Francisco 49ers? They wouldn't have drafted Kyle Pitts. That makes no sense, right? Because they had George Kittle. But can you imagine with Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell? I mean, like, is anyone going to use a Penei Sewell? J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, like Devonta Smith, like any one of those guys, even Micah Parsons. Like, can you imagine like that?
Parsons
so I don't think
Bosa on the same.
Oh line? My God! Like, offenses have been like, no, we're done.
But even like if they would have taken Patrick Surtain, like that's been a need for the 49ers is like, if you look at a weakness, it's like they've kind of had to shuffle through corners and in their secondary. They had a lockdown like Pat Surtain. It'd be insane.
Dude.
Jimmy G might have won the Super Bowl.
It would have been crazy. But the point is, like, their Super Bowl window's open because their defense is that good. And again, they have those skill players. So, like, I think they have a few more years. But do they have the QB to get them over that hump? Yeah, because I think you can bring a Jimmy Garoppolo, and like I'm not trying to throw shade at Jimmy Garoppolo. You can bring a Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl. You can bring a Jared Goff to the Super Bowl, right? At the end of the day, like you're likely going up against a Patrick Mahomes, and like all that stuff, it's tough to beat. Yeah. So like you could beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, but like you also have Tom Brady on the other side, and you have a suffocating defense. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be challenging for a team to do that and then win the Super Bowl against the kind of competition that is in the AFC.
Yeah. I mean, the 49ers are interesting because they're part of the reason, Trey Lance wasn't having a great outing was their offensive line was really struggling against the Raiders. Okay, I did a stock report on preseason, and Raiders fans are like, you didn't even talk about our team. We looked so good. Raiders fans, we are down at the bottom. Raiders fans and Broncos fans, okay? We're both down here at the bottom. If you want to get overexcited about one preseason game, go for it. Go right ahead. Did they look better than possibly expected against San Francisco? Sure. But one thing I know about good football teams with like good head coaches, a lot of times they look bad in the preseason. They're not coming out and dominating. They're working on specific things, okay? I'm not worried about the 49ers not playing well. And I would not get overly excited, Raiders, about that preseason game. That was my biggest takeaway from posting my video yesterday. The first comments, you didn't talk about the Raiders. Oh, yeah, Lions fans, sorry. I'll get to you guys. I couldn't talk about all 32 teams, okay? Not going to talk about that for preseason. I just went with the things that are interesting. So don't get too excited, Raiders fans. That was my point. I had a second point, but I already forgot it because I just got way too. Here it is. If you love this show, overly excited about the Raiders, then we should just write off the Chiefs, right? Chiefs suck now because Derek Carr and the Saints just drove down on their first team defense because they ain't got Chris Jones in there yet. Scored instantly. So Chiefs suck. Raiders win in the division after one preseason game is my take. I am having a hard time, though, differentiating Derek Carr from the Raiders. I kept thinking like, oh, yeah, Derek Carr had a great series. And I'm like, the Raiders smoked the Chiefs on that opening drive. I'm like, that's not the Raiders. That's the Saints. I'm having a hard time changing Derek Carr to an official Saint and detaching him from the Raiders. Anyway, whoever the Raiders backup quarterback is that they took, what's his name? Little mustache dude. Yeah, he played well.
Oh, it's like the Aiden O'Connell dude?
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
No offense, Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
Great little mustache dude.
The worst part is that I knew exactly who you were talking about. It was like, yeah, no, that's Perna speak. Yeah. Deuce Vaughn, dude. Watching him run out there, like it legitimately, like it's like Muscle Hamster from like the Buccaneers. It's just like tiny guy just like run in between like the legs of the offensive lineman and just like, nope, this is how I'm gonna escape. But
yeah, he might be a steal.
He could be.
Shifty. Just the play he made looked so hilarious against Jacksonville. Like he is in the middle of three defenders and he shakes them all and two Jaguars just blow each other up. It's just like you couldn't, like if you saw that in a football movie, you'd be like, fake. NFL players never going to do that. Fake.
Like you'd play that in Madden and you'd be like, this is so unrealistic.
Madden still sucks. Anyway. Mahomes. I
Obviously,
bench Mahomes, so he can't hurt me anymore.
that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not going to get too excited, but I'm really, really excited to see more Jordan Love like this Saturday. Like that's gonna be fun. So the reason I'm at camp, or one of the reasons I'm at camp, is because it's joint practices with the Patriots this week.
Oh, so you're gonna get a look at Zeke.
Yep. So Wednesday and Thursday, I'm gonna be at camp, like watching them go against the Andy, happy birthday, buddy. We go watching them go against the Patriots, and then they're playing the Patriots this Friday. I'm sorry, Saturday for the game. So yeah, so that'll be really exciting. And then I got the interview with Mark Murphy. So we're gonna rock.
Have Mark Murphy draft your Underdog league.
Just in the middle of the interview, and just be like, here, like while it's going on, like whenever it's my pick, just go.
Who should I take, Mark?
That's it. That's it.
Hey Mark, how high should I draft Jordan Love?
Well, here, like Elton Jenkins, last week they had joint practices with the Bengals, and Elton Jenkins he got into 2 fights with the Bengals. So are we gonna get into fights with the Patriots?
Ooh.
Just saying. But Brandon Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy?
Working on this. I'm gonna try and bang out this Michael Orr video.
Nice.
We'll dive into that, and then hopefully I can do a short too. What do you got, Tom?
Today, nothing, but tomorrow I'm going to cover camp. I'll have a video like with some footage from camp, and then I'll have that on Thursday also. And then Friday, we're not back for GPS. Perna's out. I have the interview. So we'll be back on Monday for our normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday for GPS next week. But yeah, it's just like it's be like Packers training camp content this week.
Tight.
So, that's it, buddy. There you go. New video for Jets Brain. It's coming out. There you go.
Presumptuous. Subscribe to Jess's channel, or I don't get to be married anymore.
Yeah, real quick, it was in the comments. Jalen Carter, dude.
Very good.
Like, we all know he's going to be good.
One play, you know the rules. He looked good.
That's it. But, folks, I appreciate you. Apologize for the phone. I'll be back in the normal studio setup and all that great stuff. But thank you so much.
Oh. Maybe when she gets monetized, we'll have that conversation, Johnny.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, competition.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy, with that. Just love you. All right. But, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. That way. This is GPS. And you have been
Navigated. You reached your last